My wife allowed my underage daughter to throw a party and buy them alcohol. Now my daughter's in jail and my wife is coping. This is the kind of shit I never thought I'd be typing out to strangers on the internet, but honestly, I'm out of options. Everyone in my life is either too close to the situation or trying to play neutral, and I need someone to tell me I'm not losing my goddamn mind. My daughter's 17, straight A student, never been in trouble before. Used to be the quiet one, head in books, glued to her headphones. The kind of kid you gotta tell to go outside. She's not perfect, but she's always been solid, respectful, keeps to herself, smart. My wife? That's a whole other story. We've been married 19 years. Things haven't been perfect lately, I'll be honest. We've had our ups and downs like everyone else. Fights, distance, communication breakdowns. That slow, bitter kind of drift you don't really notice until one day you realize you're more like roommates than partners. But we've been trying. Or I thought we were. Until last month. I was out of town for work, gone 4 days. I check in every night, FaceTime the family, no big deal. I call Thursday night, everything seems fine. Wife says our daughter's got friends over, doing a little movie night. Nothing crazy. I say cool, tell her goodnight, hang up. Friday morning, I get a call at 6 a.m. It's from a number I don't recognize. It's the fucking police. They tell me my daughter's been arrested. She's being held for underage drinking, possession with intent to distribute alcohol, and resisting arrest. I legit thought it was a scam call at first. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? My daughter's a minor. She doesn't even drive. What party? Then the officer tells me the address. It's my house. My house. I'm still in shock, trying to process what the hell I'm hearing, and I ask, where's my wife? And the cop goes, oh, she was there. She's not in custody. So now I'm confused and pissed. I hang up and immediately call my wife. No answer. I call again. Straight to voicemail. She doesn't call me back until 2 hours later. And what does she say when she finally picks up? It wasn't as bad as they're making it seem. Brother. Apparently while I was gone, my wife thought it would be a fun bonding thing to let our daughter throw a little get-together at our place. She bought alcohol. Bought it. With her ID. Handed it off to our 17-year-old daughter and her friends like she was fucking spring break Santa. Then left the house. She didn't want to be the buzzkill mom, so she took off for a few hours and let them do their thing. In our house, with 15 plus underage kids and alcohol. What could possibly go wrong, right? Cops got called around midnight by a neighbor who heard screaming and thought there was a fight. When they showed up, a bunch of kids tried to run. My daughter panicked and shoved one of the officers when they tried to grab her, so now she's got a charge for resisting too. And my wife, she came back right as they were hauling kids off, told the cops she was just gone for a bit and had no idea there was alcohol involved. She lied. Straight up lied to the police. I have the receipt from her fucking credit card. She bought $180 worth of liquor and beer from the store down the road. 2 handles, a 30-pack, a bottle of Fireball, and hard seltzers. She knew. She planned it. Now our daughter's facing charges. She's suspended from school. Her college counselor is talking about this possibly affecting her applications. I had to fly home and bail her out, and she looked at me like I was the one who ruined her life. My wife hasn't stopped crying since, but not in the way you'd think. She's not crying because she realizes how bad she fucked up. She's crying because everyone's turning on her and nobody understands. She's making herself the victim. Keeps saying shit like, I was just trying to be the cool parent and you don't know what it's like to have your kid pull away from you. Number I don't, because I don't try to parent through a bottle of fucking Mike's Hard. And now she's begging me not to leave, saying we can fix it, that it was just a mistake. But our daughter is staring down actual legal consequences, and my wife, the person I'm supposed to trust, put her there. Edit. Just adding this here for more context, because y'all asked. Wait, why would your wife even do this? Was this the first time she let your daughter drink? South. Here's the part I didn't want to admit, but whatever. Fuck it. Number. This wasn't the first time. I found out after everything went down that my wife's been letting our daughter sip wine coolers and hard seltzers here and there for months, totally behind my back. She told me it was just a few drinks at home, in a safe environment, and she didn't want her to sneak around and learn from TikTok. Like that's some genius parenting method. She legit thought she was being proactive. And our daughter? She started getting cocky with it, thinking she was mature. Told one of her friends, who told their parents, that my mom lets us drink if no one drives. That came back to bite us hard. One of those parents straight up told the school after the arrest. So now we're on some kind of school board radar. And guess who told me all this? Not my wife, not my daughter, the principal. During a fucking disciplinary meeting. Is your daughter mad at you or your wife? Oh, she's furious, but not at who you think. She's mad at me. She thinks I'm overreacting and being dramatic and trying to make her life harder. Her words. Apparently me grounding her, taking her car keys, and not letting her go to prom right now is some war crime. Meanwhile, she still calls her mom cool and the only one who gets it. Like, I bailed you out of jail. I'm hiring a lawyer. I'm talking to the fucking school district trying to save your future, and I'm the villain? This girl turned into a whole different person the last year, not gonna lie. Is your wife okay mentally? You said she's coping. What does that mean? Brother, she's spiraling in real time. Since this happened, she's been acting like she's the one whose life got wrecked. She doesn't talk about our daughter's charges. She doesn't talk about what she did wrong. She talks about how everyone's attacking her, how it's not fair she's the bad guy, and how she was just trying to give our daughter what she didn't have growing up. She started sleeping in the guest room, not because I told her to, because she doesn't feel emotionally safe being around me when I'm so angry all the time. Oh, and guess what she's doing now? Posting vague shit on Facebook. Like, people love to act holier than thou when they've never had to parent alone emotionally. And moms get judged for everything while dads get to rage and walk away. So yeah. Now I'm the absentee father and the bad guy online too. Her sister texted me asking if I was really thinking about divorce over one mistake. One mistake. Are you actually leaving her? I don't know. I really don't. We've got 19 years, a mortgage, a teenage daughter who clearly thinks her mom walks on water. But I look at my wife now and I do not recognize her. She lied, enabled, endangered, and won't own it. And the worst part? I think she liked being the cool mom more than she liked being a parent. She got validation from these kids treating her like the chill one. She even told me once, I'd rather be the mom they trust than the one they hide from. Well, congrats. Now our daughter's looking at a criminal record and thinks drinking at 17 is just a rite of passage. And a bonus, turns out the party wasn't just drinking. Found out through the lawyer that there's body cam footage. Haven't seen it yet, but it's in the report, where one of the officers on the scene said they found an open condom wrapper in our guest bathroom. So that's new. Wife swears up and down she didn't know anything about that. Says our daughter's not like that. I didn't even respond. I just walked out of the room. I don't even know what to do anymore. Lawyer says the best case scenario is probation and getting the charges sealed when she turns 18. Worst case? This follows her through college apps and job interviews, all because her mom wanted to be liked more than respected. Update 1. South. I didn't sleep last night, not because of court, not because of my daughter being arrested, not even because of the fallout from the party. It's because I found out my wife has done this before, multiple times. She's been letting our daughter and her friends drink underage behind my back for months. Let me rewind. After the last post, I got absolutely buried in calls. Lawyer, school admin, my sister-in-law, even my own dad calling to ask what the hell's going on. Meanwhile, my wife's moping around the house like she's the one who got arrested, sitting in the dark, crying to herself about how everyone's attacking her and she was just trying to be the fun one for once. We had a talk, more like a screaming match. I told her flat out, you put our daughter in a position that got her arrested. Her response? It wasn't supposed to get out of hand. I just wanted her to have one normal teenage night. One? That's when I started putting shit together. Because this party, the one that got busted by police, it wasn't just thrown together while I was out of town. There was planning. There were logistics. They had a F-King playlist and a table layout. You don't coordinate all that for your first rodeo. So I started digging, checked the grocery delivery account. Yeah, the one we share. Boom. 3 other alcohol purchases going back to December. Same store, same time frame, all paid with her card. Always in the evening, right around weekends. Then I checked the cameras. We've got a doorbell cam, but it doesn't record unless you flag motion events. I looked at the flagged events from the past 3 months. Dozens of teen faces, same kids, in and out, backpacks. One kid's holding a fucking red Solo cup at 3 p.m. on a Saturday. My wife knew. She didn't just slip once. She made it a whole F-king routine. I confronted her again. I asked, "How long has this been going on?" She just stared at me, didn't say a word, then started crying again. I told her she needed to start thinking about a lawyer because if our daughter gets hit with any serious charges and they trace it back to who bought the booze, they're coming for her next. That got her attention real fast. Suddenly she's panicking, telling me not to drag this out, not to make it worse. She said, if we just support her and act united, they'll go easy on her. We just have to keep it together as a family. Keep it together? Lady, you're the one who handed a 17-year-old a bottle of vodka and dipped. Don't talk to me about family unity when you left our daughter to take the fall for your mistake. Meanwhile, my daughter, she's acting like nothing even happened. Woke up this morning like, can I still go to prom or... We sat her down and told her about the charges, what she's really facing, the resisting arrest, the contributing charge because some of the kids were under 16. Her face just blank, like we were reading her a boring email. When I said, you might not walk at graduation if this sticks, she legit rolled her eyes. And my wife jumped in like, she's scared, that's just how she processes. We don't need to pile on right now. Pile on? We bailed her out. We hired a fucking lawyer. And now I'm the bad guy for laying out what the hell this means. Nah, I'm done coddling. And here's the kicker. Our daughter's lawyer called me and said they need to know everything, including whether the alcohol came from us. I told them yes, that it was bought by my wife, that she knew there'd be a party, that she left the house while it happened. My wife lost her mind when she found out, said I threw her under the bus. I said no, you parked the bus in the driveway, handed out the booze, and fucking floored it. Now she's barely talking to me, keeps going from sulking to gaslighting to acting like I betrayed the family for not protecting her. Sorry, I'm not protecting grown adults from the consequences of giving alcohol to children and letting their daughter take the full legal hit. You want to be the cool mom? Then you can be the one with your name on the court docket. I don't know where this is going yet. Lawyer says if the judge is lenient and my daughter stays clean, she might walk away with probation or some deferred thing. But it's not guaranteed. Not with the resisting charge, not with other parents involved, not when one of the kids was 15. Also, side note, the school knows. Someone's parents snitched. She's on temporary suspension right now, but it could turn into full expulsion if things go south. And if that happens, if this ruins her college offers, all because her mom couldn't stand the idea of not being the fun parent, I don't know if I'll ever forgive her. Update 2. Alright. Here's your messed up, stress sweat dripping out of my eyes update 2, because apparently we're living inside a Lifetime movie that won't end. If you read the last post and thought, damn, that can't get worse. Congrats, you were wrong. Let me take you through the disaster dominoes of the last 72 hours, because at this point, I'm just waiting for CPS to show up and take me away for staying married to this walking cautionary tale for 19 years. So first up, the school finally made their move. We got a call from the principal, then the district rep. My daughter is now officially expelled for the remainder of the semester. Not suspended, expelled. Why? Because 3 other parents came forward to the school board with screenshots, videos, and statements saying their kids drank alcohol in our house multiple times over the last few months. One of them had Ring camera footage showing my wife dropping off beer with the caption, "Snack delivery," as a fucking joke. The mom pulled that shit up in front of school staff. I damn near blacked out from the secondhand rage. The school said because it involved distribution of alcohol to minors on school-adjacent property and ongoing misconduct from a guardian, my daughter can't finish the school year with her peers. She's got the option for some alternative ed program, but yeah, no prom, no graduation, no walking the stage. And my wife, she sat there in the meeting like a ghost, barely blinked, said, I didn't think it would go this far, for the millionth time. Like that's some kind of spell that rewinds reality. Next bomb. We're being threatened with a lawsuit. Yup, you read that right. One of the other moms, we'll call her Kathy, because of course her name is Kathy. Found out her 15-year-old daughter was one of the kids at the party. Apparently, she didn't know at the time, and now she's furious. She called me personally. I picked up thinking it was going to be a calm conversation. Instead, she opens with, "If your wife doesn't admit to supplying alcohol to my daughter, I will sue both of you for endangerment and contributing to a minor." I tried to explain. I said I didn't know. I said I wasn't there. She didn't give a fuck. She said she has a family lawyer already drafting paperwork. Said her daughter was throwing up blood the next morning from mixing vodka and White Claws. Said she could have died, and she's not wrong. I told my wife about the call. She said she's just trying to find someone to blame. Our daughter didn't force her to drink. Our daughter? Ma'am, you bought it. You hosted the party. You dipped. This woman is on another planet. And here's where it gets truly unhinged. I was in the garage looking for a box of tax stuff. I find one of those little fireproof lock boxes she uses to keep our old documents and paperwork. I don't open it usually, but something told me, just check. So I do. And inside, a fucking notebook. Like a diary, like some high schooler shti. And what's in it? Pages and pages of notes and entries where my wife wrote about wanting to rebuild her youth through our daughter. No, I'm not exaggerating. Actual lines include, "She gets to have what I missed. I want her to see me as someone who gets it, not like the strict moms I had. The parties are harmless. Better she learns from me than strangers." If OP finds out, he'll freak, but he's too uptight to understand this kind of bonding. Bonding. That's what she calls buying Four Loko and running off so teenagers can binge themselves into puking on our carpet. She even had F-King party plans. Written out. Lists of snacks. Ideas for themes. She titled one page, "Light Buzz Vibes Only Smiley Face." My daughter's future is in a blender and this woman is writing like she's on Pinterest. I haven't confronted her yet. I'm too tired, too disgusted. I put the notebook back because I know the second I bring it up, she's gonna cry and say I violated her privacy and start playing the victim again. But I've already started documenting everything. I've got pictures. I'm forwarding the emails, the school docs, the ring cam footage. I'm getting ready for court. Because whether this turns into a custody case, a lawsuit, or a criminal investigation, I'm not going down with her. Where's our daughter in all this? Still convinced she's the victim. She won't speak to me. She told her lawyer I'm abusive because I took her car and grounded her. She thinks we're ruining her life, not the fact that she got caught doing dumb shit and her mom backed it up with fucking documentation and delivery service. And now, she's asking if she can move in with her aunt. Who's her aunt? My wife's older sister. The one who said to me last week, "It was just a mistake. You're seriously blowing this up way too much." Apparently just a mistake includes jail, expulsion, potential lawsuits, and possibly getting our house labeled as a criminal party address. Cool, I guess. Update 3. My daughter ran away. This might be the most surreal update I've written yet, and that's saying a lot considering we started with "my wife bought alcohol for teens" and somehow snowballed into "my life is now a full-blown cautionary PSA for what happens when you marry someone who peaks at 17 and tries to drag your kid back with them." If you're new here, this all started because my wife let our 17-year-old daughter throw a party, bought her alcohol, left the house, cops came, daughter got arrested, and now every day has been a new entry into the "what fresh hell is this?" diary. Strap in. Let's start with last night, 11:42 p.m. I'm on the couch, again, haven't slept in our bed in weeks, watching YouTube and trying to distract myself from the living nightmare upstairs when I hear the front door open. Not quietly, like wide open, no FKs given. Open. I rush over, thinking it's maybe my wife forgetting something in her car or whatever. And guess what? It's my daughter, and she's walking out with a F-King duffel bag. I'm like, "Where the hell are you going?" She says, "I'm going to live with Aunt Kelsey. I already cleared it." I tell her, "You're not going anywhere, especially not at midnight with an active court case, school expulsion, and no parental consent." And she looks me straight in the eye and says, "Mom already said I could. She said she'd deal with you." This girl just walked out the door, Uber waiting in the driveway, just dipped. Like we're not still fighting charges, like she didn't just almost ruin her entire future, like I'm just some guy she used to know. So yeah, I call my wife, and this is where it goes nuclear. She answers the phone whispering. I ask her point blank, "Did you tell our daughter she could leave the house and go live with your sister?" She goes, "It's just temporary. She needs space from your energy." My energy. Lady, your energy is what got her expelled, charged, and almost hospitalized, but my energy is the issue? Then, I swear to God this is real, she tells me not to call the police because it'll just make us look unstable in court. Oh, we're past unstable. We've lapped unstable 5 times and are doing donuts in a Walmart parking lot with no tires at this point. So I do what any reasonable person does. I file a custody emergency motion first thing in the morning because I don't trust my wife, not with decisions, not with parenting, not with reality. And then, 4 hours later, I get a knock at the door. I open it thinking it's a process server for the school board stuff or Kathy's lawsuit from Update 2. Nope, it's the F-King police. They say they got a wellness check call. Apparently someone, I wonder who, called in saying I was unstable, yelling at family and possibly a danger to myself. Want to know who made the call? My wife. My F-King wife. She weaponized a wellness check to make me look like the unhinged one, while she's actively helping our daughter dodge legal accountability. I was calm. I showed them the paperwork. I told them I was the one who filed for custody. I told them she left without permission. I showed them texts. Showed them everything. The cops were actually chill. One of them looked exhausted, like he'd seen this play out too many times before. He said, "Look, we have to follow up on any calls like this, but based on what I'm seeing, you're doing everything you're supposed to." They left after 10 minutes. No incident, but my hands were shaking the entire time. Not from fear, from rage. And now the real kicker. About 3 hours ago, I got a cease and desist letter, delivered, certified mail. It's from my sister-in-law, Aunt Kelsey, the one housing my daughter. The one who said this whole thing was overblown, and I was being too strict. She's threatening legal action if I continue to defame her sister and harass her niece. I have literally not spoken to her. All I did was tell the lawyer my daughter left the house without permission. That's it. So now my wife's entire family is trying to make me look like the problem, while they're actively sheltering a minor who's facing court charges, in violation of custody agreements, without informing the court, and with the person who supplied the damn alcohol in the first place. I've officially lawyered up with someone new, not just for my daughter's case, but for divorce, full custody, and counteraction if her family keeps pulling this shady shot. Because yeah, I'm done playing defense. You want to lie to cops, let our daughter run off mid-case, and pretend I'm the crazy one? Cool. Just don't be surprised when it all shows up in court, in writing, with timestamps, and fucking screenshots. I don't even know how to end this update. I used to think I was a decent dad. I thought my wife was just going through something. Update 4. You know how every time I say, "There's no way this can get worse," the universe takes that as a personal challenge? Today was court, not the criminal case. This was the emergency custody hearing. After the wellness check stunt, Update 3, and my daughter disappearing to her aunt's house, I filed for an emergency change of custody to get full legal rights until the criminal case wraps. I wasn't going to sit around and watch her mom and her mom's sister treat felony charges like teen drama. We show up at the courthouse. I walk in with my lawyer, feeling like I'm about to throw up because I haven't slept or eaten anything that didn't come from a vending machine in 3 days. And then I see them. My daughter, sitting next to Aunt Kelsey. Not my wife. Not holding her mom's hand, not crying, not looking scared, just cold, straight-faced, eyes forward. Then my wife walks in 10 minutes later, late, wearing all black like she's attending a fucking funeral. I guess it was supposed to make her look put together, or whatever. She sits across from me, won't even make eye contact. And for the first half of the hearing, it's mostly boring. The judge asks procedural stuff. My lawyer lays out why I filed, why my daughter left the house without permission, why my wife created an unsafe environment, etc. Then the judge turns to my wife, asks if she wants to respond. And this woman I built a life with, looks the judge dead in the eye and says, "He's exaggerating everything. I never gave our daughter alcohol. I wasn't even at the house when the party happened. I was at a friend's and I didn't know what was going on." Lied. Under oath. I almost stood up. My lawyer literally put a hand on my shoulder to keep me seated. So now it's my turn. My lawyer gets up and says, "Your Honor, we'd like to submit supplemental evidence." Judge allows it. We pull out the burner phone screenshots, the grocery order history, the ring cam footage with her smiling into the camera holding a fucking 12-pack of hard seltzer, and the notebook. Yep, I told y'all in update 2 I found her cool mom notebook, and yeah, I made copies. We hand it all over. Judge reads the first page, literally stops, and goes, "This was written by the respondent?" My lawyer nods. Silence in the room. My wife looks like she just saw the Grim Reaper walk in with a clipboard. And here's the moment I'll never forget. The judge turns to my daughter and says, "Would you like to speak?" She hesitates, looks at her aunt, then at her mom, then says, "I didn't know about the notebook or that she lied about the party. I thought I was protecting her, but she let it happen, all of it. I thought she had my back, but she just didn't want to get in trouble." It was like watching glass shatter in slow motion. You could see it. The exact second my daughter realized her mom wasn't just the fun one. She was the dangerous one. The judge granted me full temporary custody, legal and physical, effective immediately. My daughter comes home with me, court ordered. My wife gets supervised visitation, only if approved by the court after the criminal case concludes. Aunt Kelsey, the judge ripped into her for harboring a minor during an open legal investigation and said she's lucky she's not facing criminal charges. Her mouth dropped open. First time she shut up all month. We walked out of court in silence. My daughter didn't say much in the car. Then halfway home she just whispered, "I didn't know she was like that." And I just said, "Neither did I." I'm still processing everything. There's a long way to go. My daughter's charges are still pending, and her lawyer's working on a plea deal. The school expulsion still stands. Her relationship with her mom? Honestly, I have no idea what that'll look like. I'm not gonna force anything. Update 5. This will probably be my last update. Not because everything's magically fixed, by the way. I wish I had a satisfying dramatic ending for you. I wish I could say everyone got exactly what they deserved. But this is real life, not a movie. So, charges. After weeks of stress, court appearances, and my daughter crying in the middle of lawyer meetings like she was on trial for murder, we finally got a decision. The DA cut her a deferred judgment deal. That means no conviction on her record, 200 hours community service alcohol education program, counseling, zero tolerance for any SHIT for the next year, random drug and alcohol testing, full court review in 6 months. If she passes everything clean, no criminal record. It's what we hoped for, what we were desperate for. It gives her a second chance, but it also slammed her with the reality check she's been ducking since all this started. She didn't speak for 2 days after court, barely ate, just sat in her room, didn't even text her friends. I think it finally hit her that none of this was just a misunderstanding. It was a near catastrophe. She came into the kitchen the other night and said, "I thought I was grown. I thought mom was letting me be free, but she just didn't want to be the one to tell me no." And I didn't even respond. I just hugged her. We don't talk about her mom much right now. My daughter doesn't ask to see her. I don't bring her up, not out of spite, just because the silence feels safer. Now for the part I didn't expect. Remember back in update 4 when I said my wife lied in court, even when we had evidence? Well, turns out the DA doesn't appreciate that, because last week she got charged. Yep, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Misdemeanor, not a felony, but still, it's on her now. She's not in jail or anything. They didn't cuff her, but they did show up to her apartment to serve her the official notice. And from what I heard, through my daughter, who heard from Kelsey, she screamed at the officers, told them she was being persecuted by the patriarchy, and that I brainwashed the courts. Okay, the only reason she's not looking at more serious charges is because she wasn't physically present the night of the party. If she'd been caught with alcohol in hand, this would have gone completely differently. Still, it's something. Her court date is set for 2 months from now. I don't plan on attending unless subpoenaed. I've spent enough time watching that woman twist reality into a pity story. And now the part that broke me. This isn't legal. This isn't dramatic. It's just real. I was cleaning out the garage last night. I've been doing that a lot. Just walking around the house, throwing stuff out, trying to erase the version of our family that doesn't exist anymore. I get to this old plastic storage bin under the workbench. I open it, thinking it's just winter stuff. Inside is a box of our daughter's childhood drawings, not art class stuff, like scribbles from when she was 5. Crayon stick figures of me and her, ones where her mom had a cape on and Super Mom written across the chest. I found a note folded up on that cheap lined paper with hearts on it, and it just said, "When I grow up, I want to be like my mommy, because she is brave and funny and always lets me stay up late." I sat on the floor and stared at it for like 15 minutes, because that was before the phone calls, before the police, before my wife traded being a mother for being someone's party mascot. I don't know why it hit me so hard, maybe because it was proof that she used to try, that we were a real family once. And now I've got a lawyer on retainer, a daughter doing court-mandated community service, and a house that feels too quiet every time I turn the lights off. My wife's facing her own case. I've got full custody, my daughter's finishing high school online. I'm in therapy, she's in therapy, and we're both trying to learn how to trust people again, including ourselves. Let me tell you, if you've got kids, be the bad guy sometimes, be the buzzkill, be the strict one, be the one they're mad at for saying no, because one day they might thank you for it, or they might end up in a courtroom wondering if they ever actually had a parent at all. Anyway, that's it. Thanks to everyone who read, reached out, DM'd legal advice, or just dropped a "holy she tea" in the replies. It helped more than you know. Take care, people.